Hi everyone, welcome. In this video we are going to talk about data visualization in Excel. When we say data visualization, it is not just charts. Data visualization also includes the tables. And when we create tables from a data set, we try to extract some information that is meaningful for us. And one way of doing that is creating the tables using Excel's pivot tables feature. And what I did is I prepared a number of questions, and I'm going to go over those questions using pivot tables, and that is going to help you understand or improve your pivot table skills further. So the first question is there a difference in the average sales amounts among different regions? So one way of doing that is to answer that question. We can just create maybe another table ourselves, and then we could use the average if function, and we try to find the average sales amounts per region. Another way of doing that could be just filtering the data set and sorting them, and then extracting the information ourselves. And the third option is using the pivot tables. And let's just do that. We are going to just insert a pivot table. And when we just create or insert a pivot table, it comes as a blank table. And what we need to do is we are going to just try to see how do we want to represent the data set in here. So because we want the sales amounts in regions, we want the sales, the regions in rows to be listed, and then we want the sales amounts displayed right beside the region values. So in that case, we could just take the region, and we could just take the region and put it under rows. When we do that, we have the central, east, south, and west, and there are some blank regions. So that means the data set, those rows are missing the region information. And then we take the sales amounts and put it under values. When we put the sales under values, what we see is it puts the sales as in counts, and how many sales have we happened in central region, and how many sales happened in east region, etc. So we want to know what the average sales amounts in those regions. So we go to the field setting, and we just change that to average. Now we found the average sales in each region, and we are seeing that the region south has the highest average amount. But are they really different from each other? So the question for that is, you may want to also see the dispersion of the sales amounts. So I want to take the sales again and put it under the values. Now instead of using the counts, I want to just put that as I try to look at my standard deviation of the sales. And as you can see, the standard deviation is very large compared to the mean value, the average sales per region. So it's a very large standard deviation. That means these values are really overlapping. So the difference between them is minimal. There's a huge range of sales amounts that are going on in each region, and we cannot really say that these are statistically different from each other. But if you need to test this information, you have to either check using the regression analysis or using analysis of variance, and we are going to see that in the regression analysis part. Right now we are looking at these samples, and we indicate the average sales, and we look at the standard deviation, and we just see that the range of this average sale, the sales amounts, are very large, and that's why we cannot really just conclude anything that they are different. But if these belong to a whole population, then we could say that they are different from each other. So this is the first question. I'm gonna just code as a Q1, and now I'm going to just move to question 2. Now question 2 says, which customers made the largest total sales, largest average sales, and the largest number of transactions? So we want to look at here, and we have the customer names or customer IDs. We can just choose one of them, and then we want to find for each customer what is the total sales, average sales, and the largest number of transactions per customer. So instead of using the regions, now we are going to use the customers in the rows. So we can do that. We are going to insert a pivot table, and now this is my question 2, and I will take the customer name to the rows, and all customers, the unique names appear here. There are 794 customers there. And then I will take the sales, and I want to put the sales 3 times because I'm going to change them. First is going to be sum of sales, and the second one I am going to find the average sales, and the third one is going to be the count of sales. So the question for which customers made the largest, all of these, each one of them. So which customer made the largest total sales is, I take here, and I can just change this title. Instead of sum of sales, I can say total sales, amounts, etc. Then I can right click in here, and then I can sort them largest to smallest. And I see that the largest sales belong to Sean Miller, and then the Tamara goes second. Now, is the ranking different for average sales? And I can check that by sorting the average sales largest. Yes, then Mitch becomes the largest for average sales, and the number of transactions per customer largest is going to be William Brown, and this is the total sales, average sales, and count of sales here. So I put all of them side by side, and I could just infer some information from these. So if I want to find out what purchases were made by William Brown, then I can double click on this 37, and it brings up all the data belong to this person, and I could just further analyze this data set for that customer name. But after doing that, what I realized is, are these the same customer? Yeah, it looks like they are, so the customer ID is the same. Using the customer name may not be a good idea then, because there may be 2 William Browns, but the customer IDs would be unique. But all these records are the same customer ID. So, but the person has made a different transactions in different states. So I could just maybe delete this, and I'm going to just move this as my question 2. And I created the worksheet for question 2. Now I'm going to move to question 3. And maybe I'll cut the video there and just move on with a new video. So which sales value repeated the most? And which products are associated with that sales value? So what does it mean is, if I need to translate myself, so in my data set, the sales values are a certain amount, and they have decimal places like 261.96, 14.63, etc. But are there repetition in the sales amounts? And I don't understand why the sales value have more than 2 decimal places. Usually if it's a dollar value, it should have only 2 decimal places. But let's try to see if there is a repetition in the sales amounts, and then we'll look at which products are associated with those sales values, the largest one. So I'm going to insert a pivot table, and then I will now take the sales to be in the rows, not in the values, but now this is my variable, and each unique sales value appears in the rows, and then I take the same sales value and put it under values. But instead of putting the sum of sales, I'm going to just count them. So all of these happened only once, but 108 here, and there's 108, and there's 108. I see, so it happens 2 times, and it counts them there as 2 times. It represents it, and I'm going to sort these into from the largest to smallest, and I can see that $12.96 happened 56 times. And what is that? Let's try to find that out, and I want to double click on it, and $12.96 is Xerox products. They're different. One of them is a subcategory is paper and binders, and they are mostly all Xerox products, but then some of them are not. Binders Wilson Jones, but then binders 3M, and then there's art, but most of the others are just Xerox products. And you made the same amount of profit for the different product numbers for Xerox, but for the other products the profit amounts are different. So we were able to get the number of transactions per sales amount, and just easy using the pivot tables. I'm going to move that to question 3, and I will cover the remaining questions in a new video. Thanks for watching.